Hey everybody, welcome to my channel, Gauge Saves. I'm Johnny Gauge. Today we're working again on the 1964 Suzuki K10. This is the tank and fuel petcock. We're going to be doing fuel petcock restoration, bringing this back to life. You can see I just pulled it off. You can see there's still paint on the threads where it came off. I don't know if we can see the inside, but it's yucky. Anywho, I'm gonna clean stuff up here and we'll put this in the stand. We'll get started on the fuel switch here. Okay, so if you're not familiar with this bike, you can go back and look my previous video. Just kind of did some overview pictures before and after what I've done. We're just trying to kind of give an idea of what you can do with some stuff to get them to work again, just in individual parts. And give you a background on the bike. It was a 1964 Suzuki K10 found, and basically it was a barn find. Found in a collapsed shed. So it's full of like wood dust, wood material. It's been sitting there since about 1968. So it only had 4 years of runtime. Yeah, so we'll get into this. So fuel petcock or fuel switch. We can see sort of on the side here we got 0, 1, 2, 0 being I think off, 1 is your primary tank, which will be this pickup tube, and then 2 your reserve tube, which I think will be this guy here, and then you're walking. Part number is V61, I believe that says. I don't know if you can see it. Anyway, we've got a retaining screw here. I just used a 16 or I think it was a 16 or a 15 mil wrench to get that off. Well, the threads look to be pretty good, still brassy on the inside. And then our sediment bowl and or filter here. Yeah. Okay, so just kind of looking at this, it's pretty gunky down the center here. There is a rubber gasket here. If I push on it gently, seems to be fairly spongy, not dry. The joy of all this being collapsed with wood all over it has actually kept a lot of the rubber gaskets pretty good. Brass retaining nuts probably for the switch handle. Let's see if we can get that guy off first. Oh, so tight. There we go. Ooh, it's tiny. You can see it's in pretty good shape. But it's definitely got gunk in it. Now this guy is barely movable, but it should come out. Oh, all you smell is like paint thinner. Oh yeah, and it's just clogged up. All your ports just clogged with gunk right now. Okay, let's get this guy off. And it's probably going to be a 9 or a 10 mil, not 10. 9 fits nice. Let's see if we can crack that open. Yeah, that wasn't too bad. I think all this stuff is made of kind of a castable aluminum. This might be more of a steel. I'm just trying to be as gentle as possible with getting it loose. And you can see the sediment bowl is just looks like mud. And then this side, we got a rubber gasket in there. Just gravel and whatever else has been in that tank for a long time. Seems to be like another retaining screw, but we'll get a little, or a retaining ring, we'll get a little further in a sec here. Okay, so just got some paper towel here just to kind of show. So the edge, you can see this is cast just by the ridges, and we've got passages that are absolutely clogged all the way through now. I won't say clogged, but just jam-packed with mud. Mud, sand, wood particles. Oh dear. That's a gooder. Not sure what that is. But I might give that a blast under the water just to try and get some of it out. Huh? These are all the different tubes depending on which position you're in. It fills from whatever tube in the upper. This guy is not much better. This is all junk. That might be a screen in there, or was a screen at one point. It's like metal flake from the inside of the tank. That's not good. There's something on the bottom. Can't tell if that's just hardened junk or nope, just hardened junk. Oh yeah. There. You can see the very bottom. And it's just a sediment bowl. There's no filter on it. It just sits like that, and all the fuel comes down, and just all the heavy particles drop to the bottom. Sit in there. Okay, just blasted these under the tap for a second. Didn't really do too much. Still got a bunch clogged in there. This one looks a little better. A little cleaner. Stinks. This one, same thing, didn't do much. So let's see if we can dig some more out of this one. Last little bit. There. I'll set that one aside. So this one's looking pretty good. You'll get the final cleanup. Get some of this out. This is all, I'm not sure if this is a little bit of carbon. It should clean up pretty easy with some degreaser and or plain old dish soap. And then we can work on him. This guy though, I don't know where to start. Let's start at this end. So rubber gasket. Let's see if we can get him out without destroying him. Yep. Just nice and gentle. He's been in there a long time. He might like to put a new one in there, but he might be savable. We might just do the old boiling water trick. See if he'll come back out. Pretty pliable. It's not dry. It's the joy of all that wood. All the gaskets are nice and flexible, and I think they were made yesterday. I held all the moisture in, but everything rusted out. Oop. All right, this guy. So you've got a little bit of a retaining piece here. Made of brass, so it's in pretty good shape. Just dirty. And he should clean up pretty good. I'm not going to worry too much about polishing him. I just want to get him clean and free moving. What else we got in here? Now this is the not sure what this guy is. He seems like he's just a paper, maybe a paper filter. Just something like a paper gasket, just kind of keep in between. And then we've got our fill tube from the fuel in, or sorry, fuel out. That's fuel in. And that guy feels like there's a bunch of stuff in there too. So he's gonna take a little bit of blasting. This guy is jammed up. This is the, just want to gently go in there. I don't want to wreck anything. Does that look like a retaining nut to you, or just a cast piece? Hard to tell. I think it's just a cast piece, but it looks like there's a flat edge here. Have to clean it up more and see, but lots and lots of gunk. Let's see if we can get the gasket out of this guy without wrecking it, but not likely. I may have to leave him in there for now. I'll fight with him. Back to you. I found just kind of a micro Allen key T-handle. I'm just gonna kind of push through, see if I can get the, oh, and see some bubbling up there. Ooh, it is not coming out well. Maybe we'll try. This is jammed all the way down, isn't it? This is a copper tube, so I don't want to break it by any means, but solid possibility. Oh yeah, just pushing stuff out. We're gonna have to fix that after. Come apart. Does not want to come. You can see the dirt plug coming out of here. Let's try down the relief tube, the reserve tube. See if we can see. I don't know if you can see anything coming out of there. It is plugged solid. So yeah, I think we're going to soak this. I kind of do a lot of my parts in apple cider vinegar, just to kind of do a little, it eats some of the stuff off, eats some of the rust off. Fortunately, if this is, not sure if this is chrome or chrome plated or just polished steel, but it might eat that away down to bare metal. But it'll clean the aluminum up, so I might throw those in there and see what it does for me. And I'll pull them out and show you after here. We'll get all the passages covered, and then we'll be back in a day or so. All right, so you can see it's been a few days now. I took some pictures 24 hours after and then pulled the parts out. Like I said, the finish kind of around here did come off. You could tell it was flaky and it was probably going to. I mean, that's the apple cider vinegar, like takes basically a layer of the metal off. This part, I mean, cleaned it up best I could. It's still got a little bit of gunk in here, but not too bad. And after I'd kind of cleaned all the passages out, I noticed there was a, you'll see on the close-up, there's a cork insert in there. I didn't realize was there. I thought that was metal, just dirty. But it was a hardened kind of cork. So I've just re-oiled it, and that's kind of what I'm doing right now is I'm just taking just a little 3-in-1 oil here and running a pipe cleaner through some of the passages. So just basically a little bit of oil on there, and then just see kind of just to get the last kind of little bit here, and that all the way down until it comes through. No, you can't see that, but there it goes. And then yeah, still get a little bit of dirt out of there. Then run a kind of a cleaner one through. It's kind of like cleaning the barrel of a gun, I guess, all the passages. But I mean, there's not too much left now. The biggest thing I'm going to do is when I put this all back together, I'm probably going to put an inline filter on the fuel line just to catch any of the garbage that's left over in the tank and or this thing. You can see there's a light powder residue on the outside. Like ultimately a parts cleaner, like an ultrasonic parts cleaner, is best for these. And I'm not sure if these had, some of these have paint to them. They were kind of coated in a little light paint. You can see kind of half metal, but this is where the polishing part is going to start, where we're going to take it to the next level. Okay, so to start with, I'm just going to use a little aluminum metal polish just to try and get all this white stuff kind of off the bottom. Just going to rub it in by hand. I'm not too worried about doing the inside. I may give it, like I said, a little run through, but I'm more concerned about the outside and how it looks. You can see it seems a little on the pitted side. It's hard to tell if that was from the apple cider vinegar too long, but generally it's from the castings. These are kind of a poor metal, I think, anyway, to begin with. You can see it's kind of getting all dark. And get some of the basics off to start, and just a little and then we'll get some of the gunk, and we'll get down to bare metal here. Any of the, you can see like some of the casting there is, it's pretty bad. And that's where the high-speed polishing comes back. So I mean, if you've got a rotary one, or you've got a Dremel, or just a drill, you can use pretty much anything you want. I use kind of an old Dremel type situation, and then just a little bit of polishing compound, and we see what kind of happens here. Oop. Okay, so I put a little brown polishing compound on there. Just going to turn it up slow to start, and then we're going to see what we can do. So I think when we look at this one, it might have been a painted piece, and that's kind of just all we're hitting here. You can see like where it's kind of come through the aluminum. So I mean, we can strip this off now if we want, or we can sand it off. Depends, up to you. and kind of maybe that light dusting, that was just all the paint flaking off. They do use like a silver aluminum paint. We can always just, it's nice and cleaned up now. We could always just repaint it ourselves too. Depends on what level you want to take it to. I mean, if you put it through an ultrasonic parts cleaner, you could have just taken it and put it back together and kind of called it a day. I'm gonna kind of sit on this. I'm not sure what I want to do with them at the moment, but I might just leave it like that. It looks not too bad, even with a little bit of polished aluminum under the paint. I might just give it a quick coat of spray paint after I kind of clean this off. We'll see. All right, I'm gonna hit top of this because I'm pretty sure, just kind of giving it a quick wipe, that it's brass, which is kind of cool. So it was obviously plated, either nickel or most likely a cheap chrome plate, but it came off way too easy. We're gonna give her a little polish and see kind of what comes up off here. And yeah, it looks to be a brass, but it should polish up pretty nicely. And then, I mean, once it'll fade over time, but anybody can kind of just rub it around with some metal polish afterwards, after we get the initial cleanup done, and it should come up nice. Like I said, I'm pretty sure this is painted down here, and I'm debating on how far I want to take this, just because it's such a tight area and there's so many ports to use a paint stripper on it. But I'll continue on this one and let's see how it works. Yeah, it's not too bad. I'll keep working on this a little bit and see where it brings me. At least it'll look pretty all hooked up under the tank. I'll give this a little shot just for my own well-being. There's no filters on these. It's kind of interesting, just that little paper filter we found underneath. That's why I said, I think before it goes out to the carb for the fuel line, I think I'm going to put an inline filter just to catch all the little bit of debris, and then whatever's left over in the tank too might be in my best interest. But yeah, I'll work on this a little more and we'll get back to you here. Okay, well, I guess the only thing left now is to put this back together. Turned out pretty good. You can see I hit this with a little bit of light sandpaper. It's actually a brass tube. Who knew? I didn't take it to perfection, but it's inside. The outside brass looks fantastic. This is a little bit shinier, cleaner. All the passages are cleaned. And yeah, so let's start with this guy. I'm just going to I'm not going to use the paper filter that you remember that was on the bottom there. I figured, like I said, I'm just going to use an inline filter, but I'll use that guy as a spacer. Going to try and fit this guy back in. This should be interesting. He's still pretty pliable. He just tucks all the way down into that bottom. There's like a little groove in there. I'm going to try to get him all the way around on. Out wrecking the threads. Trying. There he goes. There he is. Like I said, we'll find out. It should be okay, but we'll find out if he leaks or not pretty quick. And then our sediment bowl. Thread him on hand tight here for now. And then our 9mm. Just going to give him a light tighten just till I feel resistance. And now this, you can see like that cork filter, what's left of it in there. Hopefully that doesn't leak too much. It probably will. Like I said, I'll probably put another rubber gasket in there, but I've oiled it up, so hopefully it expands a little bit. We'll put this guy back in. And then our little brassy retaining that I just polished. And this guy doesn't have to be uber tight just until he's seated. There we are. It's about as restored as I'm taking things. I'll give her another wipe down with cloth and then take the final pictures. Hey guys, if you like this video, please hit like and subscribe, and more coming from Johnny Gage. Thanks for watching.